Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Clarke Training Station 1v1. On the left-hand side, we have the Illuminate player, Maniacal Facade. I do apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly. And on the right side, we have the UF player, Silent Ninja. And as you can tell by the ACUs, this game has all tech and research unlocked. It is an assassination game, and fog is enabled. Without further ado, let's jump straight into the mayhem, which is Supreme Commander 2, Revamp 2.0. But before we begin, one thing I should point out is this is Alpha 1.0, not 1.1, for any discrepancies that you notice during the game. Enjoy! Alright, let's speed things up to get through the economy phase of the game. So, first up going, we have an air factory for Maniacal, and just basically pumping out engineers. Is now moving them off. We've got a tier 3, I think that is. Was that a tier 3 extractor already up for Maniacal Facade. We've got 2 air factories also for Silent Ninja. Going on with his power production straight off the bat. How many engineers we got so far? We've got 2 engineers. Early on, you might want to, after you get your power pretty much up and running, pump out at least like 20 engineers, guys. 20 engineers. You want to be keeping on top of your resources. You should be trying to spend as much as possible, always keeping production going. And when you're lacking in resources, pause production, keep building. And when you get back on top of your economy, start pumping out more units. Got a layout here for more, I'm guessing 3 more factories. We've got tier 2 power generators queued up for Maniacal. Silent Ninja, on the other hand, he's got some mass conversion going at the moment. 1 shield up. Got add-ons, and finally we got production. What is he pumping out? We've got 2 spy planes here, not doing much of anything, and I think he's going for tier 1 bombers at this point. Tier 1 bombers. Unfortunately, if Maniacal decides to go anti-air, he can pump out tier 1 interceptors, and they'll be pretty much a hard counter these tier 1 bombers. Got 3 land factories up, going for adjacencies as normal. Pretty much getting his economy going really, really well. He's got a larger count of engineers than Silent Ninja. Silent Ninja kind of idling for a bit here. He's got some air defenses, a nice amount of generators. I would really highly recommend that you get engineers out. In terms of economy and production, I do believe Maniacal Facade may be in the lead, but he hasn't produced any combat units as of yet, which is a bit worrying. If these bombers come in right now, they could do some real big damage if you decide to rush. However, it's still building up a large number of bombers. Let's see here. While we're waiting, I might take the time to just, for those of you who don't know, adjacency bonus that have been worked into the game, for how they work for factories, is they reduce construction time, and depending whether it's a mass, I don't know if it's mass or mass deposits and power generators give adjacency, and it reduces mass and power consumption. And as for defensive structures such as point defense and flak, depending on what faction you are, if you're UEF like you are here, it gives to area damage. If you're Illuminate, it gives to range and rate of fire for Cybran. And all power generators give damage in boosts. And depending what tier they are, they give higher amounts of bonuses for the higher the tier they are. Unfortunately, though, we've got some tier 1 interceptors. The spy planes go down immediately. And I don't think he saw the interceptors. He's trying to send in his bombers now, and they're going to be met with these interceptors, and they get absolutely destroyed. All those resources, air units are not cheap compared to land units, which we have a bunch being pumped out now. He might have upgraded these to tier 2 factories to increase their build speed. Depending on what tier the factory is at the start of the game, most tier 1 units, when you have a tier 1 factory, between maybe 7 and 14 seconds. Tier 3 factories, on the hand, can pump out tier 1 units at in 2 seconds, pretty much. Especially with adjacency bonus, they are dirt cheap, and you can pump out a ton of them, which he's doing right now. What are these? Tier 1 tanks. I think the difference between tanks and assault bots is tanks more durable, I think, or are just better in general than mechs, and mechs, assault bots are cheaper. Someone will correct me in the comment section below. We've got 2 more air factories up for Silent. We've got a support ACU commander. I don't see those normally. Still all tier 1 for his mass extractors. Still got this tier 3 mass extractor here, probably doing some work. The difference in mass production between tier 1, 2, and 3, we've got another one up here, is tier 1 grant, I think it's 1.2 mass. I'm not too sure on that. Then you get 6 mass, or maybe it's 2 mass for 1, 6 for 2, and 12 for tier 3. I may be incorrect, but it's a big difference. That's the point I'm getting at. And he's got a nice patrol going of interceptors. No bombers are going to get through here. He'll need to either get some anti-air of his own or go into interceptors as well. We've got a experimental gantry going up for... What is this? He changed his name mid-game. I'm not pronouncing that. You can all read that for yourself. Gantries for the Illuminate faction count as both the air and land gantry, so I'm not sure what he's going to try and produce out of that right now. However, Cybran and UEF have separate gantries for both air and land. I think we have some tier 2 units being propped out here. Got some mobile shield generators and some flak, tier 2 flak, anti-air. Still going with production. Still not a lot of engineers. The engineer count is very different. We've got 1, 2 engineers, a support ACU, 2 support ACUs, and a normal ACU. You've got 1 tier 3 gen up here. Still lots of tier 2 gens here. For those of you wondering the power difference, a tier 1 generator will grant you 6 power. You'll grant you, I think it's either 60 or 80 power for a tier 2, and 280 for a tier 3 generator. So at the moment, in terms of economy and just outright unit production, oh, something happened here. I'm not sure exactly what. Perhaps he placed his factories wrong. Anyway, we've got 2 land factories going up. Yes, in terms of economy, I do believe Maniacal Facade, I'm still calling him that, is ahead in economy. He's got his own tier 3 generators being constructed. Got another one queued up here. If we go hit shift, we've got, let's see, we've got moving out with a support ACU. Got some tier 2 bombers being produced and some tier 2 interceptors. This is a bit late coming from Silent Ninja, however, maybe he'll be able to pull something off. Got this little forward base defense here, radar up, got some shield, we've got stealth generation, and we've got fortified artillery, so covering all his bases pretty much. And we've got this blockade down the bottom here, very interesting move. I'm not sure how walls pretty much affect gameplay at this point in time. I think they basically add as path blockers, and that's about it. They don't have that much HP. I don't know if you can upgrade them. They take a second or 2 to build themselves, and they cost basically nothing. They may possibly be reworked or improved in the future. Again, this is Alpha 1.0. And then we have an experimental land gantry being produced by Silent Ninja. So yeah, in terms of production and economy, it's a no-brainer, guys. We've got a tier 3 shield generator up. The mod now, any shield generation that you have and costs a continuous amount of power resources. So if you don't have the good power economy, it does cost a fair bit. You can minimize this with adjacency bonuses also. And with mass converters, as we've got tier 3 ones, you have the choice of both continually producing mass and having a penalty to production of power, or you can do the lump sum burst income. Still not a lot of factories, still not a lot of engineers for Silent Ninja. I'm getting a bit worried. We've got some tier 3 land units I see we've just propped up. He's got some tier 3 transports, some rockhead tanks. I'm not sure how that's going to defend this exactly. He must see this on radar with his ACU, possibly. Support commander unit, sorry. Lots of walls, lots of wall play. And we've got these artillery are finally firing. He must have only just gotten vision, and that is a dead tier 3 mass extractor. Unfortunate. They do take a while to build. We're now 50 minutes into the game. We may see another engagement soon, guys. More just plopping off these rockhead tanks, aren't we? I would highly recommend he stop Silent Ninja at this point. Probably stop production. He's not going to be able to outproduce Silent Ninja at this point. Get on top of his economy and build more factories. Get some adjacency bonuses going. Reduce build time and resource consumption. That is the best thing he could possibly do at this point. And we have two tier... Now we've only got 1 left. tier 3 gunship, which unfortunately goes down, dealing havoc to, as you can see, only takes 2 tier 3 gunships to get through that tier 1 shield and deal some heavy damage to that forward base of Silent Ninja. I do, however, question the placement of these tier 3 generators. He must get some shields up. If Silent Ninja decides to go artillery and knocks out even possibly 1 or 2 of these tier 3 power generators, they are volatile when they explode. If they're pretty close to any other power generators, which most are, they all pretty much explode. The health on these things is pretty low compared to other buildings and their shields. And we've got an Atom being produced. This is an experimental Archangel unit, has 2 main cannons on each hand, has a personal shield, which unfortunately in this version, Alpha 1.0, is slightly bugged. Its shield regeneration is quite OP. Oh, that is the adjacency thing's doing its thing. And so the regeneration is absolutely stupid quick on that thing, so hopefully it doesn't unbalance this game too much, and maybe he'll notice it and pull it back. And also has 2 shoulder-mounted missile pods for strategic missiles, pretty much. We've got here just the rally point, more tier 3 land units being produced. We have a tier 3 artillery installation being put up. This is what I'm worried about. He needs to get up some more shields. The default shields on these on the factories and these tier 1 shields aren't going to hack it. He's going to need, if he's going to go tier 1, he has to do what he's done here and put multiple ones, give them the adjacency bonuses. But we have, okay, guys, we have both an experimental shield. What is this called? The experimental shield destroyer, I think that is. It's basically an EMP launcher, so it shuts down all production or all movement of units, and is destroy shields pretty much. And we have an experimental nuclear facility. The Illuminate's the only faction to get this, and has probably double the blast radius of a normal nuke, does heaps of damage. Pretty much anything it touches is guaranteed to be destroyed. I'm not sure how that works on a Monkey Lord 2. I don't know if it deals that much damage, possibly in a direct hit. But as for the ACU, it may kill that as well. Still, no engagements going. We're an hour and almost 10 minutes in. And there is the first shot. That's going to hurt production badly. I don't know if that affects mass exactly. I don't know. I just know it immobilizes these units. They can't do anything. The blast radius seems to be quite large. We've got a second shot going off. I'm assuming this uses power to be fired, and quite a lot of it. Otherwise, because the cooldown time is quite small in that, or he just isn't keeping on top of it. And that is quite deadly to just basically knock out defenses and usually just walk in there and take everything out. We've got 2 experimentals up. We have the experimental assault block. Again, no anti-air capabilities on those 2 experimentals, that and the Atom. But that doesn't seem to matter. Oh, we have an experimental cannon, the deployed cannon. He will want to take this out very quickly. If it starts attacking this gantry and gets through those shields, he's not going to have a good time. It does so much damage, huge burst damage. We've got another shot going off at this defense. The Atom going into town is going to absolutely wipe this out. The point defenses is gone. Those tier 3 units aren't going to cut it. That support commander got shredded. And he's still dropping off tier 3 units. I would pull them back at this point and try and save as many as possible. Micromanagement becomes quite hard late game, especially when you have a lot of things going on. And what is this? We have a tier 3 mobile artillery rapid fire. Crazy stuff. And it is hurting these shields. That is a dead tier 1 shield generator. Nothing much else going on at the moment. They're trying these bombers and such. As you can see there, these are tier 3 strategic bombers, I think. Oh no, tier 1. Tier 2? Tier 1 and tier 2. Not doing any damage to that shield. Its regeneration is just so much. I don't think he's noticed it yet. Just going to immediately take out huge splash damage with the main cannon. Another shot with the experimental shield, EMP, whatever you want to call it. He's brought back he got his experimental out of there, back into his main base. I think he realizes he needs it to take out the Atom, and he's going to set it up. Possibly. And as you can see, we've got 2 tier 3 artillery installations, and attacking this top corner here. I'm not sure exactly what vision he has of the main base, and my worst fears have been recognized. It's pretty much happened. This base is getting destroyed by 2 artillery installations. He needed those tier 3 or tier 2 shields, and it's going to be a no-brainer as to what's going to happen next. His economy is going to go down drastically. I think this evens up the match slightly, guys. Again, this is just wreaking havoc, finally taking out